Thought Cops, the only podcast where every week we police the mean streets of the internet because, hey, somebody's got to do it. And then we let you be the judge, the jury, and the executioner in the court of public opinion. Coming to you live from Neo Chicago, I am Officer Kevin.
Hey, I'm Officer Grant.
What's going on, man?
Does it matter?
Not really. Hey, let's give a quick thank you to our guest from last time. The one and only, our dear friend, our producer of the show, Zwick. Thank you, Zwick. And we got a brand new guest. Hold your fucking seats, everybody. We got a brand new guest to the Thought Cops show. That's right. We got the one and only Grant Duffrin. How are you, Grant?
Hey, guys. I'm doing great. It's an honor to be here.
Absolutely, Grant. You are the man behind the one and only Shrekfest.
That's right.
Now, some of our longtime listeners may recall a little video that both myself and Officer Grant went to go film up at your fine festival honoring the film franchise belonging to Shrek and all of his great friends. Shrekfest.
That was like 2 years ago, right?
God, yes. I was just talking to Nico last night. I'm like, when the hell was that? Was that really that long ago? I think it was almost 2 years ago. Almost 2 years ago.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, did you guys only went once?
Yeah, we did.
Did you go 2018 when we got rained out?
Yeah, yes. That was it, yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry that was your one experience. That was mass hysteria. That was the most... See, but that always works in my favor. Like when literally everything went wrong, but it was still fun. Yeah. It's just a bunch of people getting together in a park acting weird. So you can't really disrupt that.
Yeah, we drove 4 hours in an absolute torrential downpour to go film a video at Shrekfest. And I mean, I gotta say, you didn't disappoint. It delivered on just about everything I expected.
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh, that is dedication. You drove 4 hours in the... You know, I watched your video and I loved it because you were translating. You had subtitles and you were interviewing somebody and they mentioned me by name, but I don't think you knew what he was saying because he said it's all about... I forgot what he said. He said something Grant Duffrin, but you subtitled it as Grand Difference.
I think that might have been the YouTube auto subtitles.
Oh, it could have been, yeah.
Is that what it was? I changed my name. I changed my name on Discord to Grand Difference because I love that so much.
Oh, that's hilarious.
It was a good time, man. We went out there. You had an onion eating competition. You had a lot of great Shrek cosplay. And I will say, even though it got rained out, that did sort of add to the ambiance, very swamp-like.
Yeah, that park is really, that year especially. But I've done a few different parks since we started doing Shrekfest. And I love Warner Park. That's where we did it in 2018. Mm-hmm. And I've done it there last year too. Because that park is naturally swampy. It's by these lakes and the lakes are always really green. I'm not an expert in flora or fauna or whatever.
You sound like one.
Thank you. I'm going to take that as the most grand compliment you can give somebody. The green shit in the lake. I love it. And I'm honored that you guys came and checked it out for yourself. I'm assuming you saw something online and you were like, well, what is this? We got to check this out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
That's pretty much everyone who comes. They see something online, it kind of piques their interest.
Yeah, because we, maybe the year before or a couple months before, we did an event that was like Naruto run around the Trump Tower, and we took a video of it, and we were like, oh, we got to do this, and we got to make another video. So
it was like pretty much exactly within our wheelhouse. So we're like, yeah, we got to be up there and check that out.
Yeah, and you guys aren't too far. You're in Chicago.
Yeah.
I live in Milwaukee, so that's a lot closer, but Madison is kind of more out there, but it's still Midwest.
A little further of a trek, but, I hope that the pandemic gets lifted so we can come out there and film another video this year. But, well, that's what I kind of want to get to. So you are the man behind Shrek Retold. If you want to talk a little bit about that.
Yes, and if you guys are listening and you're thinking, what the fuck is Shrekfest? All you know is that it's something that happens in Wisconsin, and it's got Shrek in the title, and it got rained out. Shrekfest is if you don't mind, I'll give a brief history of the festival.
Please.
Definitely, yeah.
I've told the story so many times, so I got pretty good at telling it. But it started as a fake Facebook event. Shrekfest is an event on Facebook. One of my buddies found it, sent it to me, and I was so fucking pumped. We were all pumped. We made plans on going there and checking it out.
Sure.
And I'll never forget that feeling of discovering this event and getting excited to go to it. And then I found out it was fake, which I should have known it was fake because of the description for the event. But I guess that's what you would call suspense of disbelief.
Sure.
So when I found out it was fake, I was really upset. And it sounds silly saying this, but we were really upset. I was actually hanging out with my friends and we found out it was fake together. And it was like a heartbreaking kind of experience. But then it was like, why don't we do it? Why don't we throw a party and call it Shrekfest? So I called the Parks Department. Why not? Why not take a crazy chance? So I called the Parks Department and I'm like, I want to throw a festival and I want to do it at this park and blah, blah, blah. And they're kind of like, well, that park you picked out is like a children's playground with like a slide and swings. And I guess that was part of the joke on the Facebook event because that was the park they had listed. But the Parks Department, they were totally aware that I was a random man calling them, telling them I wanted to throw a festival. And they're like, okay, this is what you got to do. And they walked me through it. And just fill out this paperwork. What do you want to do? Okay, you got to sign up for these permits. And they just completely walked me through the process. And we did it. We threw the first the first Shrekfest in 2014 in like 2 weeks. We kind of put it together. And there was maybe like 30 people that showed up. But it was so fucking fun because everyone who showed up you could see the apprehension on their face and surprise that it was real.
Yeah.
It was like, is this happening? Shrek, like we came out here just with like a 1% chance in our minds that this was real. And so that kind of excitement when we all got together, we're like, okay, this is it. This is Shrekfest. And it was like we were making it up as we went along. And it was just so exciting. And we've done it every year since. So that's Shrekfest. Now
that's hilarious.
Yeah, I just remember. I try to remember that excitement when I first found out it was real, and we first did it, and it was a magical experience. Now, Shrek Retold. Shrek Retold is a crowdsourced remake of Shrek, and you guys are familiar with the other ones. There's a ton of these kind of things, like the RoboCop remake.
Yeah, fucking Fatal Farm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes, that was my favorite part from that remake, the shooting the dicks. Oh my God. Fucking phenomenal. So yeah, we decided to do it with Shrek.
It's great. I watched the entire thing. It's incredible. You guys got some like pretty big names in there too. And I was watching the credits and there was like a handful of people who have been on Thought Cops who were in that too. And I'm like, okay, well, that's interesting. Nice little crossover.
Who, if I may ask, who are some of those crossover people?
The one that I remember the most was Anthony Peluso, Hack the Movies.
Yep, Tony.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's been on here. God, who else? I'm trying to remember. There was definitely a couple other ones off the top of my head I can't recall, but
I don't doubt it. I think we put together a pretty good catalog of like internet personalities for that.
Yeah, you had like Casey Green did a piece for it. There was a track by Doug Pound. You had David Liebehart. You had Chris Chan.
Yeah.
Incredible star-studded cast. And
Zwick in the chat said Sick Animation did a part.
Yeah, Sick Animation.
Yeah.
And this gets me to the special announcement portion of the event, which you had emailed us recently. And I know I asked you if you were okay mentioning this on the show, and you said yes. So you guys are planning Shrek 2 Retold.
Yes. Okay, so that's a special announcement. Got it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because there's something else that could be a special announcement in my mind too that I'll touch on.
Well, I'll go through mine, and I'm going to let you surprise me. So, you said you're doing Shrek 2 Retold, and in my opinion, I think that Shrek 2 is one of the greatest movie sequels of all time.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with you. I have so many thoughts on that, but what is the number one factor that comes to mind? Why do you say that?
I feel like it built upon the first movie. Like it was like, it's one of those rare sequels that is probably just as good as the first one. I don't know if I'd say it's better, but it's probably just as good as the first one and very enjoyable in different ways. I would say, like, it's right up there with, The Dark Knight, Spider-Man 2. God, what are some other incredible... Empire Strikes Back?
Yeah, Terminator 2,
yes.
Alien. Well, Aliens is always brought up when people talk about great sequels, but I don't think Aliens holds a candle to Alien.
I think they are similar to Shrek 1 and 2, good in different ways, but equally as good.
Yeah, you could say that they're equally good. My thoughts on Shrek and Shrek 2 is, if you were to say what's a better movie, I think I'd have to go with Shrek, because I think it's a more concise story. Mm-hmm. It's small. It's got a smaller cast, and I like things that are small and kind of deal with small moments. And it just, kind of focuses on Shrek and Donkey, which I think is a dynamic that works so well. But Shrek 2 is definitely a funnier movie. I think it's more dynamic. It is filled with more jokes, and it has more characters, which isn't necessarily a good thing on its own. But the fact that each character is fleshed out and watching all this chemistry, I think it just really works. So yeah, I think it's a terrific sequel. And I think 3 and 4 are really fucking awful.
Yeah, I never saw Shrek 4, but Shrek 3 turned me off so much. I remember seeing it when I was in high school in theaters.
Completely flaccid.
Soft as soft can be. And just there was that scene with the babies throwing up, and I'm just like, I was about ready to walk out.
Yeah, that's so disappointing. And I was having a conversation with someone about this yesterday, and he asked me how I would fix 3, and I don't know. I feel like all I can do is point out what's wrong with 3 and 4, but I have no solutions on how to fix them.
Erase it from history.
There we go.
Yeah.
Thanos snap it.
You got Shrek 2 Retold coming, and then you reached out to both Officer Grant and myself, and you said, hey, you guys want to be in it? And we were both like 1,000%
absolutely,
yes.
Yeah.
I'm so happy. That seems to be the response I ask people, and it's either excitement or it's just confusion and disgust. So I'm glad you were on the positive side of that.
Absolutely, man. Shrek Retold is a great piece of media history, and to be part of Shrek 2 Retold will be an incredible journey. So we're looking forward to that.
I'm looking forward to it too. I tried to do Shrek Retold in 2014, before we did Shrekfest or anything. And I didn't get anybody. I didn't get any responses. And then which was probably for the best, because I didn't have anything prepared. I wasn't really familiar with how to run this sort of project. And then after doing Shrekfest for 3 years, I tried again in 2017. I started reaching out to people, and I started to actually get some people to respond to my emails and jump on board. I think because I was able to show them Shrekfest. That was still in its infancy, but it was, I guess, something to put on a resume to say, look, I'm capable of running something. And I started to get responses from people. Yeah. And I was able to do it. And now with Shrek 2 Retold, I feel like I'm having such a better success rate with getting people on board, because now I actually have the first one, which is a product where I'm not saying, imagine what this would be like. I'm saying, this is what it is. Do you want to help us do it again?
Exactly. So, I mean, I'm looking forward to being a part of it. I'm looking forward to seeing who else is going to be in it too.
Did I not send you the collaborator spreadsheet?
Not yet.
Oh, there's a lot of cool people, and I'd love for you to take a look at it, because there's a bunch of like deep internet gems involved, and then more mainstream internet gems, and then even some people just in mainstream media, like outside of the internet, that we were able to get involved, that I'm really stoked about.
Any names you want to drop yet, or you just kind of want to wait to see how
Donald Trump.
Could you imagine if we got Donald Trump? Who would Donald Trump voice? I think I'd have him do King Harold.
That's good.
Any names? Yeah, I mean, Bill Wirtz, if that name strikes a bell.
Bill Wirtz, if no one has seen any of Bill Wirtz's videos, are just like every single one of them's a masterpiece. And he made the History of Japan video, which is like one of my favorite. Yeah, I think I made Kevin watch that like 5 times. One of my favorite videos online.
That History of Japan is a masterpiece. I've never seen something so informative, yet it breaks down such a complex lineage of history in such an entertaining way. Yeah, that I think Bill is a genius for kind of cracking that code.
Definitely.
Yeah, and a bunch of other, we got like celebrities to do some short lines, like Justin Long and Gilbert Gottfried. So,
awesome.
That's amazing.
Yeah, we got lucky. And then, of course, you're going to see all your favorite people returning from the first one, like Christine Chandler and stuff.
Oh, hell yeah. I'm excited.
I'm excited, too. It's going to be weird. And the pieces, it's going to be like, I don't like to do the same thing twice. And that's why after I did Shrek Retold, I swore off Shrek 2 Retold. And my friend was, and then I kind of came around and my friend was like, yeah, it's like when people give birth. They say, oh, I'm not doing that again. But then a couple years pass and you're like, I'm ready for another kid.
Time for a little brother.
Yeah, it really is. Projects are like stressful because everything's uncertain. Nothing's for sure. I feel like anything could crumble apart at any moment. And it takes your full attention every day. And it's kind of miserable, if I'm being honest. And I'm noticing a lot more white hairs than I've ever had on my head.
It's like Thought Cops.
Yeah, speaking of new projects, we've actually got a brand new project of our own that just launched on YouTube this week. Reeducationing, a brand new Thought Cops video series.
Ooh, what is it?
Well, the first one, if I sort of give a breakdown, it's a very simple, just sort of lecture series about just a number of different topics on the internet. The first one, for example, is just about Prager University. And so, there's a lot to be said and there's a lot to pick apart about the entirety of that prestigious higher education institution. So if you haven't already checked it out, make sure to subscribe to us on YouTube. I think that's, as of right now, it's the most recent video that's up there, or just search the word Reeducationing. I don't think anybody else has titled anything that. And yeah, it's just sort of, I've recorded and put out one. I've written and recorded 2 more that are being edited. Kevin's working on one. It's just sort of like a, almost sort of in the same sense of the Bill Wirtz video about the history of Japan, with the exception that it's not at all educational. It's very much so the opposite of educational. It's just me explaining things in a very dumb way.
So how would you describe PragerU? I'm vaguely familiar with it. I used to get ads for it on YouTube.
Yeah, I think everyone was getting those ads. So it's really just, it's sort of making a mockery of it, but I want to say it's a little bit more than that, because just to do, if I was doing a pure satire of just only that, it would be maybe a little too Daily Show-ish, and I always try and make things a little bit more heightened. I think really the narrative that I'm trying to build around the video is just the people that take certain things like that so seriously on both ends of the spectrum.
But I hear what you're saying. You're breaking it down. You're breaking down what is this thing in kind of layman's terms.
it's one of those things. It's not necessarily for the layman. It's more along the lines of the many layers of irony that we sort of wrap everything around nowadays. You know, like it's there's many different layers, much like an onion, much like an ogre. There's many different layers to sort of the points that I'm making, and I don't think that there's any one necessarily criticism that I'm leveraging against it, or maybe society as a whole, or maybe it's even myself, but it's sort of a big conglomeration of all of that shit just neatly packaged into a 3-minute long video.
Yeah, I would say don't overthink it. Just go to Thought Cops on YouTube, check out the video. It's like 2 minutes. Give it a watch and subscribe to us. We've pitched the YouTube channel enough on this episode, so I expect if you haven't subscribed at this point, if you're listening, you better do it right now.
Subscribe.
I think Grant also had did you have another piece of news you wanted to break also?
Who, me?
Or did we cover that already?
Who, me?
Yes.
Wait, oh, yeah.
Yes, not me. Yeah.
Didn't you say you had another piece of special announcement, Grant? Duffrin?
Yes, I do have it's kind of a development that I haven't announced anywhere, but I've been talking about it with the people that plan Shrekfest. And I think what we're going to do this year, instead of having a physical fest, because COVID-19 has taken the world by storm. It's all the rage. And I think it would just be in our best interest to do an online fest.
Okay.
And I think that opens a lot of doors where now all the festivities are going to be live streamed. So no matter where you are in the world, you can tune in and check out the madness. And I think we can still do the costume contest, the onion eating contest. I just take video submissions and package it up into nicely edited videos and just have a full day of streaming all these things.
Yeah, absolutely.
That sounds cool.
I'll be eating an onion in my bedroom, and I'll be enjoying the festivities just like I would if I had to drive 4 hours in this pouring rain to get there.
There, you do it from the comfort of your own computer.
Exactly. Well, that's great, man. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, it should be fun. And we're hoping to premiere Shrek 2 Retold then, too. But I don't know if I should announce that because that sets a deadline for us, and it's a deadline that I'm not sure about.
Hey, you can't rush perfection, though, you know?
You can't rush perfection. That's right.
Speaking of perfection, we have a brand new contest to Thought Cops. If you're listening and you got a little bit of musical talent, you want to cover the Thought Cops theme song, we'll cap out an episode and play it at the end. We'll credit your work. We'll credit your social media, whatever you want, your SoundCloud, you name it. Send us a cover of the Thought Cops theme song. Give us an email, thoughtcopspodcast@gmail.com. Just cover the song, send it to us, and we'll wrap up the episode with it and spread the good word.
Exciting. I might need to submit to that.
You should.
I'll think of something. So you said it's a cover of the theme song?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And are you going to show up? Are you featuring several different winners, or is it going to be one definite? This is the winner.
Oh no, we're going to switch it up. We're going to different episodes. We're going to be because we want to have a different flavor, different variety to the show. So however many submissions we get, we like to cap out the episodes with different songs each time if we can. So if you're listening and that interests you, let us know. We'll play your song.
Very epic. Now, how are you guys doing in real life? With you guys are in Chicago. What is that city like right now with the lockdown? Or stuff starting to loosen up, or what's going on with that?
No, not really.
It's loosening up a little. The past couple days, I've been walking very long distances because there's nothing else to do. 3 days ago, I walked to Wrigley Field. Yesterday, I walked to Sox Field, aka Cash into Gold Field, or whatever the fuck it's called. I think people are getting antsy, especially on the days when it's nicer out. You're seeing more and more people that are taking walks and stuff like that. So
yeah, it's it's getting harder and harder to want to stay inside because it's been so nice out. And that's the part that's getting to me is like we're both in the Midwest. So for you guys that aren't in the Midwest, just know
that it takes a fucking long time for summer for it to start feeling like summer here.
Mm-hmm.
Like still right now it's kind of cold. I'm assuming it was like in the 40s, which I'm not complaining about that, but still I got friends out elsewhere in the country and they're experiencing 80s and stuff. And I'm interested in getting that. And now that we're kind of slowly dipping into summer weather, now I'm like, okay, I'm ready for this to be over.
Seriously.
People seem to still be social distancing and stuff, but I am noticing every day that it's nicer out, there's more and more people that keep stepping outside,
Yeah, I think it's like they say it's fine to go outside, just, stay the fuck away from each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bummer, but and now they're saying there's going to be a second wave in the fall, which is going to be worse and stuff like that. So
that's the rumor, but I think we'll be more prepared at that point. But man, I just want to I miss we're living here in Chicago, and there's so many great restaurants and everything, and I'm just like, I wish we could just get some friends together and meet up over a nice cheeseburger, but we can't do it.
I miss Places. Anybody remember Places? I miss them.
Places, people, things, yeah.
Yeah, it's annoying, but I mean, whatever. I'm hoping that the summer can be kind of normal.
Speaking of normal, let's move on to our very famous, very favorite segment of the show, 2 Minutes of Hate. This is where we like to blanket punish any of those irritating things that we see on the internet, the general trends, the things that we see when we log on and we go, oh, no thank you. So on that note, my 2 minutes of hate is I am still seeing debates on Twitter about what part of the country says soda and what part of the country says pop. And I'm fairly sure that I had this 2 minutes of hate maybe like 3 years ago, but it's
probably, yeah.
It's back again. It's 2020, the year of our Lord, and people are still debating and talking about what parts of the country say soda and what parts say pop. And it's like, of course, yeah, here in Illinois, we say pop.
You do?
Yeah.
I've never said pop. I am older than 5 years old. I would never call it that.
What do you call it then?
Soda, like a normal person.
What the fuck? Where did you pick that up?
It's because that's what it's called. What is this, the 50s?
Well, I mean, my parents called it pop. My grandparents called it pop. They said, you come over, hey, you want a pop?
Typical boomer speak.
I knew what they meant,
Pop doesn't bother me. The one that's confusing to me is Coke. If you call just soda Coke, because Coke to me refers to a specific type of soda or pop, which would be Coke.
Yeah.
Also, I definitely, I called it pop or Coke growing up. But I in general, I stopped using the term Coke because, cocaine was something I became aware of at the very least.
Right.
So.
Yeah, the huge cocaine epidemic of 1999.
Yeah.
Your grandparents asking you, do you want some Coke? Yeah, sure, Grandpa.
You want a bump?
It's really the same for all of these internet debates that keep constantly getting dredged up. Like almost every year or every 6 months, it seems like we're rehashing the argument about like which way to roll the toilet paper or how to pronounce Jif. And it's just like, man, this is the stupidest thing that people keep doing. I don't know why anyone engages with this shit.
Absolutely. And here it's like people are talking about it. They're sharing the map of the U.S. where it's like every portion of the country is like, they say pop, they say Coke, they say soda. And it's just like, man, who cares? Hey, here's my punishment. Drink some fucking water.
Yeah, that's true. We shouldn't be drinking soda. Hey, I got to address something in the chat. Well, first of all, this is kind of cool. I like how you have this set up where people are listening in. It's
patreon.com/thoughtcops, everybody.
Yeah, you guys should sign up for the Patreon because, correct me if I'm wrong, if you sign up for the Patreon, you get to listen to it live right now.
Yep.
Yeah, for $5 a month, yeah.
$5 a month, that's like nothing, seriously.
It's a steal.
And so there's patrons listening right now. One of them said do you call water fountains bubblers? And I have to say yes. As a Wisconsinite, I do call water fountains bubblers. And I didn't realize that until I got older, started moving out of, going around the country. And I realized people don't call it bubblers.
I've never heard it before.
Same.
You know, in the state capital, Madison, which you guys visited, because you went to Shrekfest, that has the world's first water fountain. And the guy who invented it called it a bubbler. So I hate to inform you guys that the correct terminology for a water fountain is bubbler.
I mean, it doesn't exactly produce bubbles, though. That's the problem I have with it.
I have several problems with bubblers. My main problem is that you can't put your lips on it.
Oh, yeah.
I used to do that. When I was in elementary school, I'd put my lips up against the bubbler and I'd drink from it. And I remember the teachers yelling at me. And I remember thinking, how the fuck am I supposed to drink from this thing if I can't put my lips against it?
You were sucking it off?
I was sucking off the bubbler, dude.
That was an episode of Parks and Rec where they're trying to get all of the Indianaites to stop from drinking from water fountains by putting their entire mouths over it.
Oh, was that in that show?
Yeah.
That was something I had to learn.
Leslie, I wish you would stop talking about politics and maybe focus on eggs and bacon. There's a little impression from the show Parks and Rec.
Yeah, that's good.
That was epic. You guys watching live, let us know. Do you call it soda? Do you call it pop? And do you call water fountain a bubbler? If they do call it a bubbler, I'm pretty sure. Oh, soft drink. I wasn't even thinking about that.
Soft drink. He's from Australia.
That's 2 words. That's too long to say.
Yeah, that doesn't ban him.
Send him to prison. Oh, wait. Australia is prison.
Fucking GIF. I haven't seen this show. That's funny. I shouldn't talk about the chat because this is an audio format podcast. Sorry.
Well, you're enticing folks to not want to miss a beat.
That is true.
It truly is more interactive.
Guest Grant, did you have anything bugging you? Any kind of general online trends?
Everything bugs me when I go online, and I don't know what it is. I didn't used to be this way, but I go onto Twitter and I see what people are talking about, and I just think you are all miserable, stupid shitheads.
I feel more and more the same way. Has there been anything in particular lately? I know we've all been kind of cooped up, and I think people are
maybe that's what it is. I'm all quarantined, but I just look at what's trending. I see James Charles is trending, and I'm just like, fuck this.
So
yeah, I've been the same. I'm when I'm at work, I'm on Twitter pretty regularly because it's sort of a nice break to be like, oh, look at these idiots arguing about shit. At least it's not my job. But it has lately. I've been using it less and less just because it's I really don't want to engage with all of the shit. It's just the constant arguing and bickering and parsing apart of things that at the end of the day really don't fucking matter. It's too much to take in, like you said, when we're all just sort of stuck in the same place,
Yeah, Twitter especially. It's just everyone trying to own each other. But the cool thing about these programs, I guess, like Twitter, is you can kind of cater to what you want to see by who you follow and stuff. So you can kind of push it in a positive direction. But it seems like no matter what community you try to get involved with, people are always trying to cause drama. People are always trying to just they have nothing better to do in their lives. They're always trying to start shit. Yeah, just the infighting and the grandstanding and stuff like that. It just gets to be too much. It gets to be too much, and I always try to tell myself, oh, I'm above this. This isn't going to affect me. But the truth is, this stuff does affect me. It gets under my skin, and then I get mad at myself for getting mad at this external bullshit. It's just I think getting off social media is a good thing, and I think you guys can relate to this. When you have something online that you're trying to do, it would be foolish not to be on social media, getting involved with the community and promoting your stuff. It's it's a trap. You can't live with it. You can't live without it. Yeah, exactly.
I feel that very hard because, we did miss a week last week. Very rarely do we miss a week here on Thought Cops. But yeah, there was a point where I felt the same as you, where I was just I got to take a break from Twitter. It's awful. Yeah. and I needed a breather. So I stepped out and got a breather. I didn't go on Twitter for like 5 days, and I gotta say, it was kind of nice.
Yeah, it is nice. And you always miss out on, if you ever do take a break from online shit and you then step back in, I feel like there's new meme formats and that sounds so stupid saying out loud, but it's true.
Yeah,
There's all this new shit. It's like, how this happened in 3 days? Like, it's a totally different landscape.
Yeah, the shelf life for a lot of the stuff is very short. I feel like what you were saying just a little bit ago about how I just lost the fucking thought about how, like, you see all this infighting and you try not to let it affect you, but it still affects you, and then like how you interact with it is how you interact with like the site and yourself and your own mentality. Is sort of like you were asking a little bit ago about the Reeducationing video that I made. I feel like it's almost more a commentary on exactly that than the topics themselves that I'm talking about, if that makes sense.
Yes. It's all meta. Everything's just getting too meta. I can't keep up.
So, guest Grant, this is your chance to punish any of these people who are just wasting their time whittling away on Twitter. You come back, you step away, they're coming up with all sorts of pointless meme formats. And what is it all worth, you know? So
it's all pointless. Who do I punish? I punish anyone who makes memes on what alpha or beta behavior is.
Oh, okay.
Hell yeah.
A true alpha is not even thinking about that shit.
Yes.
Those memes they come from insecurity, and a true alpha makes people feel comfortable and secure and valuable. And I think the internet has a very twisted perspective of what leadership is. They think it's wrath and intimidation and all these other things. So that's one that I'd punish everyone, and I have a bunch of different reasons. But now you got me started. I got to be cool. I want to be calm and gracious. Hold on, I gotta type something in the chat because this GIF is making me laugh too much. I just keep seeing that guy sucking on that. Oh, it told me to chill out. I can't type anything more.
It's off my screen.
Also,
anybody else's.
IO Netrunner brought up something that I actually thought of exactly, because there was this like GIF or this like meme of like I think we're going to talk about it later a little bit, but the alpha and the beta lean.
Yeah, that's going to come up. Yeah,
like straight up, like I was off the internet for like 5 days, and I came back and I saw green lines on anything, and I'm like, what the fuck happened when I was gone?
Yeah, it lived and died as you were taking your break. That's how short of a shelf life this shit has. Yeah,
you had to back engineer what the hell that meant. Well, who would you guys punish?
I think you're
that's
right
appropriate. You did you made the right call.
Okay, so it's a unanimous decision that we punish that meme.
Yes.
Yeah.
Grant, Officer Grant, what did you have to punish folks this week?
It's less internet related, but maybe it's a good thing because we can all sort of take a break from some of that stuff. Obviously, if we're complaining about it, as we have been the past, however long. But one thing that's been sort of bothering me is, like I said, I've been taking these like really long walks. Like I just go out, I put on headphones, and I just walk around for like 5 hours.
Dude, that is some doomer shit.
There's nothing else to do, man.
I get it.
Dude, walks are good. Walks are amazing.
Yeah, and it's nice out. Like, the weather's been good. Get to be around people a little bit, but I'll just pop in headphones, go on like a 5 or 6 hour walk, just like, wherever. And the one thing that I've noticed that hasn't gotten any better is that despite the fact that there's less people on the street, like people still don't know how to like behave and walk and act and take up space in public, For as long as I've known you, Grant, you've this has been a big touch point for you. You've had a lot of issues with people walking on the sidewalk. Yeah, they're bad at it. And the thing is, despite the fact that there's less people out, they're still bad at it. I don't understand. If I'm trying to get from one place to the other and like you walk out of a store and you stop in the middle of a sidewalk, when I'm trying to maintain 6 feet from you and you just cut right in front of me and stop? What are you doing? Why would you do that?
Yeah, they're just less conscientious. They're playing Looney Tunes in their head.
Or the fucking phones and stuff like that. And it's like, yeah, everybody's on their phone when they're walking. Like, who the fuck cares? But it's like, don't stop in front of people. Like, how is it that there's 2 people on this sidewalk and you're still like right on top of me? Get the fuck away from me. 6 feet, asshole.
People aren't respecting the distancing.
Yeah, my punishment is the people walking get the people's elbow from me, Officer Grant.
That's fair. Commit assault.
Speaking of that, if you haven't listened to Talk Cops before, every week we investigate the internet's outrage-inducing news stories, and then we sentence each perpetrator to a cruel and often quite unusual punishment. So let's get right to it, Grant. And when I say Grant, I'm of course referring to both of you.
Of course.
Elon Musk and his kids.
What is going on with Elon? What do we like Elon Musk or do we not like him?
I loathe Elon Musk. Anytime I see one of his tweets on Twitter, I just immediately tell him to shut the fuck up. Every single one of them that I see that crosses my timeline, I just go, shut the fuck up. Why are you talking?
I will stop disliking him when he starts building those fucking trains in Los Angeles and Chicago that he promises he'll build.
Yeah, it seems like he's a very powerful individual, but he seems kind of silly. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like,
everything he does is one of those like hello fellow kids type tweets where it's just like, I also like anime. Any way to get Minecraft working in my car? Like, shut the fuck up. You're not funny. It's not endearing. I hate you.
Yeah, he's definitely catering towards... There's an audience on Twitter that always gravitates towards people like him, and he's certainly catering towards them.
He's almost like a 2012 Redditor in a certain sort of way.
So him and musical artist Grimes had a beautiful baby boy this week. And I apologize. I don't mean to be insensitive. I don't mean to be racist if I mispronounce this name. They had a beautiful baby boy named
Yeah, I think you got it.
That sounds about right. What is that all about? That's probably some like passing joke that he made. Now everyone's taking it seriously. Or do you know if that's really their plans?
I can explain it here. Give me 1 second to let's see here.
He's from the future.
So his wife Grimes had mentioned. So let me break it all down for you. X, the unknown variable. That's the first letter. The second letter is 2 letters. It's all right. I'm probably showing.
It's the ligature between the A and the E.
Yeah, which is Elven. It's her specific Elven spelling of I, which means love and or artificial intelligence.
Stop.
Then A12 or A is the precursor to the SR-17, which is her and Elon's favorite aircraft, which is no weapons, no defenses, just speed. Great in battle, but non-violent. And then finally, the letter A, which is Archangel, which is her favorite song.
Oh, that's fascinating. So what they're gonna have? You can't call it that. You gotta have a name for it. Like it's gonna be shortened to, what was the first one? X?
Yeah,
XAEA12 or something.
Yeah, they're just gonna call him X.
I like that one of the replies here says, "You realize this is a human child and not an EP, right?"
I love that.
She says, "I think it sounds like the name of a main character in his story. I hope he vibes with that." Yeah, I guess we'll find out, you know.
So are Grimes and Elon, are they married?
Yeah, they're married. They had a kid. And
gotcha.
His name is...
That's cool.
I'm glad that
Good
you
for them.
perfectly replicated the pronunciation.
Yeah.
I guess they're not married. Whoops.
Yeah, celebrities don't get married, do they? They just kind of pump them out.
Yeah. This is Hollywood culture on crack, folks.
I hate it so much. I hate everything about this. I hate their stupid, pretentious shit and their dumb fucking baby name. I'm glad that we have yet another week where we get to bully an infant online, because I'm having a lot of fun with it, because fuck this baby.
We don't. No, it's not the baby. Nobody's blaming the baby.
We're not blaming the baby.
We can't goofy.
We can't get to make fun of the baby's name. Like last time we got to make fun of the big baby, which was the 4 foot tall baby wearing Under Armour. That was absolutely terrifying.
Wait. Oh, I thought I knew what you were talking about. I thought
Did you see the big baby? It was just a big baby. Yeah.
Where he's plopping his ass on his dad's back, and there's all that baby powder. I love all that. That baby looks so happy to be doing that, and the dad don't mind, it looks like.
That baby weighs about 157 pounds.
I mean, it's not a baby, right? It's like a 6-year-old.
It's like a 3-year-old.
Oh, 3. Still, that's a giant. That kid's going to be a football player, man.
Yeah. Do we have a punishment for Grimes and Elon Musk? Because I've been wanting to punish this guy. I think we've punished him before, but I want to punish him some more because obviously he hasn't learned his lesson.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, seize his assets and redistribute them.
Yeah, I'm good with that. How about seize his anime and redistribute that?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Well, what's something you guys really liked that happened recently? I want to hear that.
We'll get to that at the end with our key to the city segment. We like to, we'll be a little more positive.
You have a segment for that. Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah, we sort of have to cleanse the palate after doing all this stuff.
All right, so we're still on shit that really frazzles us.
Yeah, more or less. Let's see, what do we got here?
Why don't we talk about this, because we mentioned it before, the don't lean in strongman.
Yeah, can you explain it to me, man? I felt like I missed the boat on that.
Kevin, do you know anything about this?
I mean, I figured it out because people were posting pictures of me in our Discord where I was I guess I was doing a virgin lean.
Well, that's bullshit.
Like a beta male.
Because I'm kind of tall, so whenever I take a picture with someone, I always make sure my eye level is at their eye level.
Exactly.
So what's the problem with that? You got to frame the picture, otherwise you got to stand farther away.
Well, it's this guy. I don't know who this is, but it's at Alpha Rivlino. I don't know. I don't know who this is. It's either a website or a person or a thing or something, and it's Rivlino on Twitter, and the caption of his Twitter account is reminding you to face fuck her since 2010. And if you look at all of his posts, it's all these pictures of this green line assessing people's posture, as though that's the only way to tell how masculine someone is whether or not they're leaning, I suppose. And then when people criticize ironic, him, right? I don't think that it is. Anytime, I mean, maybe at this point, I don't know. I don't know what irony is anymore. I'll be completely honest. It's completely lost on me in any sense of the word, because everyone's doing a fucking bit now, myself included, and I don't know what reality is anymore. But anytime someone like criticizes him for doing this, he goes, "Oh, you sound like a pussy licker." Like that's his number one comeback.
Oh, wait, his comeback is that we eat pussy?
Yeah, because that's not an alpha thing to do.
Dude.
That's like that episode of The Sopranos where Junior thought it was gay to eat pussy.
It's very much like that.
Eating pussy, I don't like to get crude because my parents always check in on things I'm a part of. But I'll say this.
First of all, hello. Thank you for listening.
Hello, yeah, Mr. and Mrs. Grant, Mom. I think Congolingus is worshipping femininity, and it's a beautiful act. And if you truly love somebody, you would do that.
Well, I think that there, like you were saying before, there's this weird concept of masculinity and like the idea of I don't know, of like submitting to someone is inherently not masculine. And there was that thing like maybe about a year ago where what's his name? DJ Khaled was like in trouble for saying like a very similar thing where he's like, no, of course I don't eat pussy, but like she goes down on me. Like, of course she does, because I'm a king and a king never submits to her. And yeah, she's a queen, but like she better go down on me. And people were like, well, that's not fair. But that's like, it's a thing, I guess.
Some relationships might work like that. There might be a relationship where the guy doesn't like to perform that act and the woman doesn't mind. That's fine. But to make a grand statement about what a sexual act says about your being that's coming from a place of insecurity. If he just said, I don't like to perform that act, that's fine. But to say, I don't like to perform that act, and if you perform that act that says this about you, then that's a defensive move. That's a defensive move, right?
True.
I mean, it's weird to think
something.
Yeah, it's weird to think. Like you sort of touched on this a little bit earlier, but it's weird to think that how you assume other people are interpreting your behavior dictates your behavior and like what you conceive of like the concept of masculinity as being. Like, I don't see someone who's alpha being so fucking worried about like, oh, well, what if I'm perceived this way? It's like, yeah, who the fuck cares if I'm perceived one way or another? Like, if I'm alpha, I'm just going to do what I want to do. So why do people care about what other people do at all in any sense of anything?
Yeah, I agree. I think the term alpha, I think every day in a million different ways, you are in different systems. When you go to the grocery store, you're in a different system. When you meet your mom for dinner, it's a different system. There's all these, when you hang out with your friend groups, it's a system.
Yeah.
And you can be an alpha in these situations, and you can not be the alpha. When I go to a grocery store, I feel like when I'm checking out in that moment, there's a system where the cashier is in charge. There's when I'm visiting my family for Thanksgiving and I'm trying to help out in the kitchen, I think in that situation, my mom would be the alpha. Every day you are either the leader or the led. And I feel like a true leader is a true leader is very easily led because they understand the value of teamwork. They understand where they fit in, and they understand how they can help an overall process. So I think if you can't be a true leader if you cannot be led. That would be my statement.
Well, and you're somebody who does lead, massive projects and collaborations. So I'm sure that must ring true for you to some extent.
Yes, I think as far as Shrekfest and stuff, I'm the guy who gets all the credit. But in reality, I'm commuting. I've been drinking beer this whole time. I've been communicating
yeah, me too.
To a lot of different people, and I take the best ideas that people have and I implement them. And I assure people that, yeah, that is a good idea. Like, I always push people in a positive direction, and I get credit for it. But really, the efforts of Shrekfest and Shrek Retold are a bunch of people all working towards a goal. And I think a better title for me would be, but you can't write it in the credits of a movie. Director makes sense, but cheerleader, that's all I am. I'm a cheerleader for these projects. I go, yes, this is great. I love what you're doing. This is a great work in progress. Keep going. Oh, you're doing such a great job on this song. Keep going. That's all I'm doing. That I'm just encouraging people. Because I think with projects, there needs to be excitement. And you guys, this podcast is a project. And this podcast could not survive if you guys didn't feel excitement for it. And I'm sure you've seen so many things online die because there's not excitement behind it. And I feel like the best things, and I think you guys are fans of Mega 64 too. I'm seeing this picture with you with Garrett.
Yeah.
And I see the way that in their podcast, Rocco manifests the excitement for Mega 64 and kind of amplifies it. And if you can just amplify things, I think certain people are an amplifier for positivity and certain people are amplifiers for negativity. I think everybody is both, just in different ways. I think, everything's more complicated than black and white. Or is it?
Definitely.
I don't know. Everything could be black and white, but maybe the black and white is made up of a bunch of different gray molecules. I don't know.
50 Shades, man. Well, not to nerd out too much, but I do know that a lot of people that what do you call someone who works with animals? Not like a veterinarian, but like a zoologist sort of. A lot of those people do say that there's no single concept of an alpha male within the animal kingdom, because every animal has their own social dynamics and whatnot. And then even within certain things, you say a pack of wolves has an alpha male, but different males within the pack are alpha and beta at certain times. There's no it's Craig over here, it's Phil, he's the alpha male sort of thing. They're all it's a working dynamic all the time. So, there is some level of truth to, what you're saying, because that's where that term is taken from, the conceptualization of, these things exist in nature, so they must exist, within humanity, right? And it's well, that's not true for really any aspect of it. There's dynamics. Yeah.
Yes, I just think every day when you go to work, you go to school, you go home, you go play with your friends, there's just a million different dynamics, and those dynamics are ever shifting. I just think life is one big kaleidoscope. It's always changing. Things are always shifting. And I think there's no political system that you can say this is the way to do things. I think things can't be stagnant.
Yeah.
Like the dinosaurs, I read that we're the most sophisticated animal because they lived the longest. Obviously, they're extinct now, but if you look at, the lineage of Earth, dinosaurs were here for a lot longer. And humans were kind of we just came out of nowhere and really fucking... And
I know the skeletons won't show this, but if you really look into the psychology of the event, dinosaurs actually used to wear top hats and monocles.
Oh, those wouldn't survive in the fossils.
Right,
those would disintegrate.
We only see the bare,
Hey, they're more sophisticated than my wife. Am I right, fellas?
Oh, some boomer humor. Boomers hate their wives. You notice that?
They do, yeah.
I love. That's a meme that I enjoy. Is the boomer comics. Where it shows a comic that would appeal to boomers, and it usually involves a man killing his wife.
Yeah. Here, honey, hand me the hairdryer, and it's a gun.
That was the exact one I was thinking of.
Hell yeah.
Gren, did you want to do one more here?
Yeah. Did we punish this guy for doing this? I got a punishment, and this will be really quick. We take that thin green line and we shove it up his ass so he never fucking leans over. How's that sound?
Good idea. Yeah.
That was, yes. I am on board for that.
100%.
Oh, I got one. Yeah, why don't we end on this one? This article, and you guys might have seen this. It made the rounds through the internet, and it's building off of what was already just a very fucking annoying, aggravating fucking trend of people creating words and then ascribing certain belief systems to those words. But the headline of the article is manspreading has crossed over to the realm of running and it's not okay.
You want to give me the rundown of what that article's about?
Yeah, more or less. I think Kevin put the link in the chat, right? If you want to pop that open. It's more or less just that, manspreading is when there's a man in a public place, like a train, and the way that he's sitting is taking up too much physical space. And now it's being ascribed to more and more things. I'm seeing this other article in the ads section, men, we need to talk about your verbal manspreading. So it's not just that you sit a certain way and that you're taking up too much space, but you're also talking too loud. And now it's extended itself to the fact that you're taking up too much space when you're running. Because now people are, like we were talking about, it's getting nicer outside. People are taking walks, they're going running, they're trying to get outdoors a little bit, and we're all trying to
the gym is closed.
Yeah, we're all trying to maintain 6 feet from each other. The gym is closed, like Kevin said, but men their limbs are too long, and they're in the middle of the sidewalk, and they're manspreading while they're running is basically the gist of it.
Okay, I just want to come on in front of this and say that I've been going running during this whole quarantine because my gym is closed. And there has been this sort of unspoken trend amongst people running where it's like if you're both coming towards each other on the path, you both just get off the path and get like 6 feet apart from each other and then veer back on the path. Like pretty much everybody does that. Gender or sexuality aside. You know what I mean?
Or I'll just if there's no cars, I'll just run in the street for like a block.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter. None of this matters. Nico in the chat said, anybody who complains about manspreading has never dealt with a serious issue in their lives. And I think that's 100% true.
Yeah, I think there's truth to that. I think men do take up more space when they sit, and I think they do talk louder sometimes. So what's the issue?
I don't know here.
I don't know.
Just people are. They're just pointing that out, but it's like
this is almost the flip side of the coin of from a certain perspective, masculinity is this, but then from this perspective, it's that masculinity is inherently toxic, and that men taking up too much physical space is because they're ascribing some sort of psychological phenomenon to it, you believe that you're entitled to this space more or less,
Yeah, Nico in the chat says, I literally manspread and mansplain, and I'm a girl. She says, I just be sitting how I want.
Well, you can't mansplain. Mansplain is when a man explains something, right?
She mansplains. She more or less mansplains. Anytime we're talking about cartoons or something like that, she jumps over a couch and...
What does it mean? And
like Empress says that you're mansplaining to us.
I'm going to mansplain that you aren't mansplaining.
I can't believe this.
But here's the thing, all this shit, manspreading and mansplain, I've never heard this shit in real life. This is just on the internet. This is fake. This is imaginary. These aren't real issues. I don't hear or encounter this in real life.
Yeah, I have an issue where I have this tendency to talk just in a professional sense. I talk exactly the same way that I talk right now, which is just open, just what's on my mind sort of thing. And I have an issue with anytime I'm at work and I'm like, yeah, this happened, or blah, 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 manspreading. And people are like, what the fuck are you talking? People that aren't online, like you said, don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. And then you have to explain it. And then people are like, do people actually care about this? And it's like, yeah, a lot of people do. Yeah. It's weird.
That's interesting. That's like the thing gaslighting. That's something I learned of recently. Gaslighting. I'm sure you've seen that in a lot of memes and stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I might be getting too personal. But I'm always wondering, am I gaslighting someone? Because I think anytime you talk to someone, you are trying to get a certain outcome. Or is that psychotic? Am I wrong? I
think that's a very interesting perspective. I've thought a lot about whether or not I may or may not be gaslighting somebody, or I may or may not be getting gaslit myself.
I think the real.
Sorry, I didn't mean it real quick. I didn't mean to cut. I didn't mean to laugh about that, but I just Nico in the chat said we live by a place called Gaslight Cafe, and I laugh every time I see it. And
Gaslight Cafe. How long have they had that name?
Quite a while. It's a cafe here in Logan Square in Chicago. But yeah, it's
I can tell it's an older place. A new place wouldn't name themselves.
Right,
This has such bad connotations.
Exactly.
Yeah, established 2019. Yeah. But
can I get a
coffee.
mansplain cappuccino?
Could you mansplain the menu to me?
I think that the original sort of connotation of that word, though, was supposed to be along the lines of like a psychological phenomenon that people use to abuse other people, you know, like the husband that would beat the shit out of his wife and be like, oh, it's a shame that you hit your face on the doorknob like that. And she's like, well, obviously you did it. And he goes, no, I didn't do it. Like that sort of thing. And I think when it started really coming to prominence is when, like, very recently, as of like 2016, 2017, it sort of hit this mainstream critical mass point where everyone used it just to say like, oh, the president is lying or something like that. And it's just like, but that's not really the meaning of that word. Like, you're not, maybe it's technically correct, but what the fuck, you know? Yeah,
I think, what you're saying is gaslighting is actually a serious thing in a relationship that's abusive, and it causes the other person to be emotionally dependent on somebody who's an abuser. But exactly. Like any terms, it is used to describe something much less. And I don't know how you could say the president is gaslighting. You could say he's lying or mishandling a situation, but to say he's gaslighting, I think, implies that that opens a whole can of worms. Are we in an emotional relationship with the government?
That's a very good question.
I think, I don't know. You can create a convincing argument no matter what your stance is. But I think, like in certain ways, every conversation, and I'm just looking at this from like a writing perspective. I'm not a strong writer, but I watch a lot of lectures on YouTube because I'm interested in writing. I feel like I'm a creative guy, but anytime I try to write, I can't fucking write realistic dialogue. I can't write. That's why I do like Shrek Retold and stuff, because I need a story that works, and then I can build off that visually and creatively. Yeah. But I can't. I
get that, yeah.
Every time I write something, it's just trash. So I watch lectures because I think you can improve on anything you put your mind to. And I'm very interested in the dynamics of a conversation. And when you have people talk, they say never to have them say what they truly mean, but they say anything but what they truly mean. But what should come through is the emotion behind it. And I think that's how we do talk in certain conversations you have every day. When you talk to people, there's always an underlying subtext. I don't know what my point is right now. That's just something I wanted to share, I guess.
So I guess in terms of subtext, Grant, Officer Grant, you're a marathon runner. I'm going to let you punish them here.
I've done one.
Yeah.
Punish who?
The woman that wrote this article, because she's the one that's getting most of the hate for having written it.
Remind me what the article is.
The manspreading has crossed over to the realm of running, and it's not okay.
Oh God, I got so off topic. Okay,
it's all that's sort of. Honestly, that's sort of the point of the show, and we say that from time to time, is just like,
I blame the chat.
Here's some stuff to, sort of talk about, and also let's go on a tangent because it's a lot more interesting than actually delving into some of this stuff sometimes, but
it's just fodder for conversation. I totally understand.
Yeah, definitely. So Helen Coffey is her name. I guess the punishment is she also gets the people's elbow. I don't know. It's a weird sort of moral conundrum because it's not as though there aren't certain systemic criticisms you can make of individuals' interactions, sort of on the whole, but anytime you see some of this stuff, it just comes off as so fucking self-serving and just like tone deaf in a certain sort of way. I don't know.
I think a lot of it is, I feel like, who is this person that wrote this article?
Just some random journalist. Her name's Helen Coffey.
I don't I'm not a hateful person, first of all. Let me just say that. And I don't want to target this person. Let me just say in general, I think when articles get written like this, I think she had a personal experience where a guy was taking up space. And instead of just vocalizing in that moment, she decided to write an article about it. I see that all the time on Twitter where people complain about things. But it's like, I guarantee you didn't say shit when it was happening. You were from the moment that inconvenience happened, you were just thinking about a tweet you could write in your head.
Right. Yeah.
So that's probably what happened.
Exactly.
I don't even understand what the article is.
Yeah, it's frustrating. It's just bullshit. It's more things for people to argue about and to fight about and stuff like that. And I don't think that there's really anything to it more than that. I don't think that most people ascribe to this point of view or anything like that, or subscribe to this point of view. So it really is just another thing for people to bitch about, you know?
Yeah. Hey, somebody in the chat said, Grant, you don't need to be an ally. What, female? I'm an ally to everyone. I love women, and I don't want to make it seem like I don't want to seem like an asshole. And if when women complain about men online, I totally get it, dude. Men are assholes. They're
trash.
They don't understand shit.
We're dogs.
Men don't understand.
Dudes rock.
No, let me complain about men for a second, and I want to know how to put this. But men will always.
Well, hold on. Shrek is a man. Keep that in mind.
Shrek's an ogre.
Oh,
Shrek is a male ogre.
You're right. He is a male ogre.
But a male ogre is different than a man, right?
No. If you've seen Shrek 4, which I haven't, you will know that there are female and male ogres. And I could tell by the trailer the movie looked horrible, but I'm just saying that it does build upon the lore and the world building of Shrek.
I'm just saying that a man and a male are possibly two different things, because you wouldn't say, oh, that dog is a man. It's a male dog, yeah, but it's not a man.
Speak for your fucking self.
Hey, wait a minute. Somebody said we leave the seat up. I have never in my life left the seat up.
Yeah, I haven't
Do you guys
either.
do that?
No, that's such a fucking boomer thing. I've never.
That's Zwick.
I closed. Okay, so you guys know that shit dissipates, right? Like anything, even a rock over millions of years will dissipate. Everything is releasing its molecules into the air. If you leave the toilet open, that's toilet water dissipating into the air. Close that. That's where you shit. That's nasty.
It's unsightly.
Yeah,
I think out of this whole episode, I think that's the one thing people have to hear is fucking like just close the toilet seat. I don't give a fuck if you flush.
Leaving the toilet seat open is like leaving the faucet on when you're done with it. You are done with this device. Deactivate it.
Yeah,
toilet
turn it off.
down.
Close it. Turn it off. Yeah.
Y'all be walking past the bathroom like I'll be tasting shit.
Hey, I did. This actually happened this week. I left the toilet seat up, and the next time I went in there, I think it was in the middle of the night to take a shit, I fell in and my ass got all wet. And that's because I left the seat up.
I've never heard that happen to a single individual human ever in the history of forever. I've never heard that happening.
You wait, for real? That's like the oldest trick in the book.
I thought it was an urban legend.
Oh, I've done it to myself several times. I think that might be. Yeah, I leave the seat up like a fucking idiot because I think I got something on my mind, and then like I'm thinking about like in the middle of drafting an email, and I go take a shit, or I mean I go take a piss. Oh, what are we talking about? Okay, we were trying to punish someone.
Yeah, let's just punish them.
I gave her the people's elbow.
Oh yes, that's right. We elbowed her.
Yeah.
Again.
Let's move on to that very positive segment of the show. The key to the city. You know, we'd like to shine a little light on something nice, something sweet, something positive in our lives. Grant, I'll let you begin. Grant.
My key to the city this week goes to the government. A lot of people complain about the government, but I'll tell you, I've had about like 4 years worth of credit card debt that I just couldn't pay down. And now, thanks to like the increase in unemployment money, I'm like next month I can pay off all of my credit card debt like and have money left over. Between that and the stimulus check, it's like, well, this was a good thing to happen. Like, yeah, the quarantine sucks, but like, hey, the government paid me more money to not work than work paid me to work. So honestly, fuck work. I, for one, welcome our new communist overlords that are going to throw us all in gulags. At least I don't have credit card debt anymore. So key to the city to the government.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I'm not really political minded. I don't know. Anytime I get in a politics conversation, I feel like I just ask questions. I just want to learn as much as I can from different people.
And I would say that's a good tactic.
Yeah.
I just feel like I don't lean anyway. But now I think being a centrist was kind of demonized. But I just feel like I don't know enough. And I feel like even if I was 80 years old, I feel like I would still have uncertainty. Like, how could I possibly know the right way to run things? I feel like... Sorry, sir. What were you saying?
Oh, I was just going to say, I honestly think that that's preferable because so many people know so little and just fucking spout off about it. I trust more people that have like self-doubt than I do anybody else, you know?
That's what it is, man. The people that don't... it's so easy to be positive about something when you know so little. When I think about... I edit. Let me bring it back to that. Something I know. I edit and I use these editing softwares. And 10 years ago, about 5 years ago when I started using After Effects, I got familiar with it. I thought, man, I know everything I know about After Effects. I'm the master. And now 5 years later, I realize I don't know fucking shit. I haven't even begun to scratch the surface. And it's the more I get to know stuff, it's like the more I realize, like, I'm a baby. I'm at square one. I don't know nothing.
Yeah, it's the Dunning-Kruger effect of, people that know very little, spout off the most. People who know a lot doubt, when you know a lot about something, you obviously, know that you have spaces in your knowledge and gaps in your knowledge and stuff like that. So you're more likely to underestimate yourself,
Yeah, I've experienced both sides of that. I have overestimated myself so many times, and I have underestimated myself so many times. I just feel like I'm never truly going to get a grasp on anything I'm dealing with. But as long as I approach it with a positive attitude and an open mind, I don't know all the answers. I'm willing to hear all input. I think if everyone's on the same page, though, that we want good for all, then what are we afraid of? Why are we arguing?
You'd be surprised.
There's people who want misery and pain for all. Absolutely, without a doubt. Yeah. Which is sad. They're really the victim in their own way. They were hurt. I can experience that. Even on a small scale. I'm not going to pretend like I went through any real meaningful trauma in my life, but I've experienced things where. What am I even talking about anymore? How did I start that sentence? How did I start that sentence? What did I say?
You said
something about
trauma.
People who want,
something
people
about
who want
trauma.
Misery.
Oh yeah. I'll experience the minorest inconvenience. And I'll think, ooh, I want this pain on the rest of the world. I have those moments of true evilness, and it's like, wow, you have to take a step back and just don't be your emotions. Just observe your emotions and be like, why am I feeling this way? And be like, I'm feeling that way. Because sometimes, some days I feel evil and I'll have to take a step back and why am I feeling evil today? It's like, oh, these things happened. Oh yeah, that was bullshit. That was a ton of bullshit I went through this week. You analyze it more. You see how you can just let those emotions flow through you. There's no reason to act on them. We are in this bio body full of chemicals that are affecting our emotions and the things we say and the things we do. But you can be better than that. You can take a step back and just be like, everything will be fine tomorrow. It's a new day.
Take a shit, you'll be fine.
Take a shit. Leave the seat down.
Yeah, for God's sakes. If you take nothing else from this whole episode, leave the fucking seat down.
Please.
Yeah, Jesus.
This is seat cops.
Hey, I just want to say my key to the city that goes this week to Shrek Retold. I think it's great.
I cannot stay on your topics.
I'm just saying.
It's okay, man.
To be honest, I was familiar with it, recently, like I obviously, but like I sat down and I watched the whole thing this past week, and I was blown away.
Shrek Retold.
Okay, did you? And just be honest. I feel like every time I ask people about it, they're like, "Oh yeah, I know what it was." But did you know what Shrek Retold was until I approached you?
Yes.
Yeah, we'd see. Yeah,
because I follow a lot of people who are in it or were in it.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, I had watched chunks of it before, but then I decided to sit down and watch the whole thing, and I was like, I should have watched this a long time ago because it is really fucking good.
Yeah. Did Slime to Garbage Main have anything to do with it? Because I think he was the one that like kept saying, "Oh, I know the guy that does Shrekfest," and I think that's where we found out about.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm very familiar with Shrek. I'm sorry. What was it? Slime the Garbage Man?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's the deal. I always have a tough time with names. I might know this person in real life. There's a lot of people I work with on
I don't think I know his real name.
Walker, I think.
I've met a lot of
I think
people
you're right.
that have worked on Shrek Retold and Sonic Rebuilt. Slime the Garbage Man, that sounds so familiar, and I'm always put on the spot.
You probably know who he is, yeah.
He's just one of these guys who seems to know everybody that we know.
I work with a lot of people on these projects. The live chat's cracking me up. Seaman Cafe. Okay. Change topics. Nico says, I wanted to go to the live premiere at Bremen, but I think I just got out of surgery when it happened. Well, I hope your surgery was successful. I hope it wasn't anything too scary. And yes, the premiere was at Bremen Cafe. It wasn't really a premiere because it showed online before anywhere, but we did a screening at Bremen, which I was in attendance. My friend Mark Peterson organized all that, and that was so fucking fun. They took this small room in this bar and put up chairs and had a projector, and the guy who set it up, Mark, he brought a TV and he showed the actual movie Shrek at the same time of Shrek awesome. Retold. It was so fantastic. And I was like, in my head, I'm like, oh, I hope people show up because it'd be so embarrassing if nobody came. But we packed the room. There were people standing in the hallway. That was a fantastic awesome. Night. I'm sorry you didn't get to go. Dude, next premiere, do it in Chicago.
Hell yeah, let's do it.
With Shrek 2 Retold, dude, we should figure out a theater in Chicago.
Crowd theater.
And get it going because there's a lot of, you'd be surprised the amount of theaters that are wanting to show your shit.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, I get a lot of emails from people all over the world that want to show it.
Let's figure it out. But moving on here, Thought Cop's Word of the Week.
Hey, wait, did Grant do his key to the city?
Oh, I don't think he did. Yeah, did you have one specifically, Grant?
This is something that I like.
Yeah, basically anything positive.
Yeah, something that gave you some positive vibes over the past week.
This
or
week,
just in general.
This week was really stressful, but I say this is the highlight of my week.
Okay, all right, I'll take it.
Oh, thank you.
No one's ever used that as a key.
Yeah,
to the
no one's
city.
given us the key to the city yet. What the hell?
This is my positive of the week because it's just all stressful and a lot of business calls. But this is like take a moment out of your day to just shoot the shit and unwind and not worry about answering emails and stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
That's great, man. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you guys for giving me the opportunity.
Wow.
Thank you for thanking us.
Can you believe that, Grant? The coveted Thought Cop's key to the city goes to us.
I've wanted one ever since we introduced the segment, and I finally have it.
There you go. You deserve it.
Thought Cop's Word of the Week this week.
I think the word of the week should be 12.
Okay, fair enough.
There we go.
It means Sam or Bobby or Steve.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. We also have a Thought Cops iTunes review.
Haven't gotten one of those in a long time.
Yeah, so if you are listening to us on iTunes, go ahead and leave us a review, and we'll leave us a 5-star review because we'll go ahead and read it on the episode like I'm about to do right now. So this 5-star review comes to us from Saki3, which says, PB&J is my dad. That's it. 5 stars.
Wow, very interesting. Thank you for the 5-star review. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
What'd they say?
PB&J is my dad. I don't.
What does that mean?
I don't pretend to understand what that means. I don't exactly.
Peanut butter and jelly sandwich?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, that's great.
It's a 5-star.
Is that good news?
It's a 5-star review. I quite frankly couldn't care less what they say.
Is that something you said in the show?
Not once. No.
I don't think so. No.
Not once.
Never once. No.
Okay. Well, hey, thank you for that. Or I guess you guys should. That's not for me.
Yeah, you know
That's
what?
for you.
It could be a lot worse, so I'll take it.
That's a 5-star review. It can't get no better than that.
Yeah, and again, if you leave your own 5-star review on iTunes, we'll read it on the show. So
that's a great segment. That's good marketing. Everybody listening now. Well, hold on. There's people actually listening live. I think you should make them all write 5-star reviews right now, and we'll read them.
if you haven't done it already, what are you doing?
Yeah, you guys need to push this more. Guys, post a link so they can make 5-star reviews. I already did 2 years ago. You can do more than one.
I think we did early on when we sort of first started it, and then they sort of started trickling off, and then we started losing it. But if people start leaving more, we'll start bringing it back. So
because
keep in mind.
I'm gonna leave a review right now. How do you leave a review? Do I have to log in? What is this?
Yeah, you gotta be logged in.
You gotta log in. You gotta have like an iTunes account and whatnot. I
don't have that.
You can do it later. It's no biggie. I'm
going to say my 5-star review. I'm going to say PBJ is my wife. I mean, my husband. Wait, what was it, a dad?
Classic.
Classic indeed.
Guest Grant, where can we find all your great content online? Give us your Twitter, give us your YouTube. Where can we find Shrek Retold? Lay it all out.
I would love if people at home could just go to the3gi.com. Have you guys visited my website?
I have not.
I'm going to do it right now.
I hope it doesn't take too long to load. That's an actual concern I have, that it takes too fucking long to load.
Oh, this is
you
great.
Guys at home, go to the3gi.com right now and just look at... I can't tell you how long I worked on this shit. I'm so happy with this website. And any meaningful links or social media I have will be available on the website. The mobile site's kind of stripped down. If you're on a computer, that's best. But please, it would mean so much to me if you would go to my website.
Yeah, this is a great website. I give this website a 5-star review. This is great.
Thank you. You can go to the shop. I sell merch. I'm so fucking desperate with this merch. If you could buy a shirt, that means so much to me. I honestly live off this. I'm trying so hard not to have a real job.
This Hello Shreky shirt, I actually think I might buy that. That's fucking sick.
I love that shirt. Yeah. I only have a few left, though. I only have XL sizes.
Ah, fuck. Get some large.
Sorry. Man. Hey, and all the girls... Hey, listen, girls watching this, it's in right now with the fucking shit on the sleeves and getting extra, extra large sizes. So if you want to be like the leader of your friend group in fashion, I suggest going to the 3GI shop right now and checking that out.
You have a shirt on here that's Donald Trump giving a thumbs up and it just says hentai.
Yeah, if you want a Donald Trump hentai shirt, please fucking buy one of those because I'm
buying one. Yeah.
Can I tell you how much of a curse that shirt was? I bought a batch of these and I sold them, but I sold them really slowly. They weren't going as fast as I wanted them to. And then all of a sudden, the ad I made for those shirts, I made a little video advertising them. It got like a little viral kick on Reddit. So all of a sudden, I have all these orders come in right when I finish my batch. So I'm like, oh shit, I got to order more of these shirts. And then by the time I got the new shipment, all that excitement died down. So I'm sitting here with fucking 100 of these things. And I can't even push them.
I'm buying one. So.
There you go. That was my sob story.
And it worked.
Yeah, I gaslit.
So, and also your Twitter, if you want to plug that real quick.
The 3GI at the 3GI. Go ahead and give me a follow, and you can stay up to date with any stupid ass stuff I'm working on. I'm sorry, I cussed.
We've been doing it the whole damn time.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, there's the Twitter you posted in the chat, and after you post it, now I'm self-conscious. Is that a bad bio? I just have my email, and then I wrote Shrekfest, Sonic
No,
Rebuilt,
you're fine,
Shrek
man.
Retold, Smash Tournament.
That's a good bio, yeah.
That's good. Yeah.
It's a good bio. I really feel like Twitter, in a certain way, is the new age resume. And I really kind of developed that feeling when I was recruiting people for Shrek Retold. Because I went through thousands, more than 1,000. I'm going to go ahead and say I went through thousands of animators and artists on Twitter. And I really found what makes a good Twitter and what makes a bad Twitter.
Yeah, let's get to our voicemails. You can leave your own voicemail at 312-788-7361, or you can leave us a voicemail. Email thoughtcopspodcast@gmail.com. Let's go.
Hello, Ponder Police. It's me, Smart Boy.
Hello.
Here's my 2 minutes of hate. When the general populace is too unintelligent to have a conversation with, because I'm so smart, you know, because my name is Smart Boy.
Smart of your parents to name you that.
Love the show. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you, smart boy.
Appreciate
Who
that.
was that? Do you know who that is?
No.
That was Smart Boy.
Has he called in before?
No.
This is a stranger saying this?
Possibly. They might have called in before, and
Hey.
I just don't recognize the accent.
Ponder Boy, that I don't know if you were stuttering on purpose, but you were talking how smart you were, and there was like a moment where you paused. And that, if you did that on purpose, that's really funny. If you did it on accident, that's still really funny.
Hey, either way, we're having a blast.
Gavido papi. Hey, Thought Cops. My 2 minutes of hate this week goes to whenever my voice cracks. I can be in university asking a question to the professor during lecture, and my voice will crack, and you just hear students laughing in the background. The worst thing is if the professor laughs too.
Oh, no.
The other thing is when you're in a confrontation with somebody, and it's time for you to retort, and your voice cracks. Oof, it's over for you, buddy. You're disqualified. Your whole argument is disqualified. Your voice cracked. You're done for. Even Officer Kevin over here, his voice cracks every 15 minutes.
I was going to say, yeah.
For someone with the manliest voice in the game, you think his
thank
voice
you.
would never crack, but even his does too. Every once in a while.
True.
Which brings me to my key to the city. My key to the city goes to you, Thought Cops.
Oh, two
You
for
guys are
one.
a voice
Hell
crack,
yeah.
make fun of Free Zone, and I appreciate that. Thank you. Enjoy your
No
key
problem.
to the city.
Thank you. We got two
One
now.
more thing here.
One for you, one for me.
Officer Grant, I want to see if you can address this. I have a hot take of you saying some pretty obscene things. Just let me know what you think. Let me know if it's you. Let me know if it's true, most of all. All right?
All right.
Roll it.
My name's Officer Grant, and I devour the pussy. I eat booty for dessert.
I didn't hear a voice crack. Was that you, Grant?
I am not obliged to confirm nor deny these allegations as to my whereabouts when this voice could have possibly been arguably recorded in any such manner.
Yeah. So I will say that I would like to blame allergies on voice cracks, but I've been told it's charming, so I'm gonna go with it. I'm almost 30 years old and my voice is still cracking, so
I didn't hear any.
You gotta play it. You gotta play it off as though everything you do, every mistake that you make, is completely on purpose.
Oh no, I was. Yeah, totally.
I didn't hear any crack. You could just say our voices have never cracked in our entire lives.
Yeah, I don't know what he's talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, what is this guy talking about? I have no idea.
Like in the Reeducationing video that we just put out, my voice cracked a couple times, but that was on purpose, because I was playing a character.
Right,
okay, I'm always playing characters.
Exactly. Yeah, this is all theatrical. I mean, Grant and I are playing characters here on Thought Cops. Officer Grant and Officer Kevin. We're not really those guys in real life, and actually, our voices never actually crack when we're not podcasting. So
exactly, yeah.
Food for thought.
Wait, but was he asking for advice? Like he was trying to figure out how not to have a crack?
I think he was just saying that it's an annoyance.
Yeah,
it's not an annoyance. Don't think of it that way. You're just going through changes, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Well, he did say he was in college, so
And then he said the professor laughs at him.
Typically,
Yeah.
Thank you for the voicemail. I hope your life has many fortunes.
Suggestion for the Shrek 2 remake. Get Tamers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh my
and
God.
someone to do it. He probably won't because there's no way to spin Shrek 2 into some gay Sonic and Bartleby Yowie, but he's a genius and he'll find a way, maybe.
That is a great suggestion, Grant. If you're looking for, first of all, if you're looking for additional talent for Shrek 2, we have tons of people you can mine for.
True.
Who are, filmmakers and animators. But
I'd love to hear who they are.
Yeah, we can talk off mic, but Nico
we
here
can make
suggests
a big list for you, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, Nico here suggests Tamers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on YouTube. I would say in your downtime later on, look up that channel, Tamers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's sort of in the vein of Chris Chan. So if you're looking for more of that, but something different, definitely check that out because that could be interesting.
Tamers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sonic Underground, the movie. Sonic finds his father.
Oh, God.
Yep. So keep that in mind when you're looking for talent.
Okay, so you said, literally, how does the dragon and donkey fuck? The logistics don't make sense. Would a donkey just fall into the dragon's pussy? That would that be pleasurable for her? Would anything be pleasurable for him? How did they procreate? That doesn't make sense. I don't get it. Someone explain.
Okay.
For someone who talks so loud in real life, you could hold the phone up to your face a little bit closer when you leave these.
I was going to say, it was so quiet except for the last two words. The last two words were loud and clear. The rest was
no
someone at a
speakerphone.
distance.
So
no speakerphone.
The question here was, how do Donkey and the dragon fuck? Does he just fall into her pussy full body? Or what's going on here? What's your expert opinion?
Fall into her pussy. She's not that much bigger than Donkey.
Okay.
That he would fall into it's a cave or something. I don't know, man. I don't think the writers were thinking about that because that would pose its own set of challenges.
He did cunnilingus on her.
No, he had kids.
Yeah. So did he just walk inside there and blast on the walls, or
he just blasted anywhere he could? Well, I'm sorry we don't have a definite answer for you, Nico. I'm sure if you Google that, you can find a ton of artists' representation of what they think may have occurred.
They'll give you some ideas.
The internet is full of beautiful artistic expressions. So go ahead and Rule 34, Shrek, Donkey, Dragon, walk into pussy sex.
Yeah, get some deviant art people. They'll set you straight.
Well, Grant, thanks so much for coming on the show, man. We love what you do.
What? That's it?
Yeah, that's the end of it, man.
Aw.
Sorry, that's the end.
I guess you'll just have to invite me back.
We'll have you back on sometime.
Yeah.
We'll talk about the project soon.
Yeah, especially after it comes out, we'll have you back on.
Yeah, so thanks everybody for listening. Leave your own voicemail at 312-788-7361 or send us an audio file at thoughtcopspodcast@gmail.com. If you feel like supporting the show, give us a few bucks over at patreon.com/thoughtcops. And that's about it, guys. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for listening.
Bye-bye.